What if I tell you that SpaceX's Lunar Starship is on a mission to touch the moon? Today's video is all about what's happening in space. We'll talk about SpaceX testing a new elevator for their Lunar Starship, Stoke Space's cool rocket design, and NASA giving money to projects exploring Mars and Venus with solar-powered planes. No complicated stuff, just simple updates on the exciting things going on in space exploration. So be prepared and let's see what's going on out there in the universe. SpaceX Lunar Starship elevator testing. Alright, let's start with SpaceX. They've been busy testing something really important for their lunar missions. It's like an elevator, but for their Starship that's supposed to take people to the moon. Imagine a big open car or basket on a cable and rail system. That's the deal. Now on December 21st, NASA gave us a peek at this elevator thing. It's being tested at SpaceX's place in California, and it's a prototype for the Starship. The plan is to use it in 2025 to take NASA astronauts to the moon. So they had astronauts Nicole Mann and Doug Wheelock try this elevator while wearing those bulky lunar suits. They tested everything: how to open and close gates, deploy ramps, and move cargo around. Why? Because this elevator needs to carry astronauts, cargo, and even a rover to and from the Starship on the moon. But here's the catch: the real deal will be huge, like operating on a 50-meter Starship in 1/6 of Earth's gravity. That's a bit tricky, right? So this was just the first test, and there are more to come. But hey, if they're testing with astronauts already, it's a good sign that things are moving in the right direction. SpaceX facility activities during December. Now let's chat about what SpaceX was up to in December. While we were busy with holiday stuff, they were working hard at their launch site in Boca Chica, Texas. First off, they had some fixing up to do. Repairs, you know. They were getting things ready for the next big steps. Testing new candidates for Starship's third flight. That's a part of their big rocket plans. And guess what? They even brought in parts for a second launch tower all the way from Florida. Yeah, they're serious about this space business. The launch site got a speedy makeover, like a quick paint job, and they were even doing test fires. But here's the thing: they need to speed up even more if they want to launch as often as they're hoping to. But wait, there's a small hiccup. The FAA, which is like the rule checker for space stuff, is looking into a little issue from the second test flight. It's kind of like when your favorite toy doesn't work right, you want to figure out why. Even with that, SpaceX isn't slowing down. They're getting the next Starship ready to fly. So even though they're waiting for the FAA thumbs up, they're not in a rush. They're keeping their eyes on the prize and working towards more exciting Starship flights. Stoke Space CEO Dr. Andy Lapser interview. Now let's talk about what Dr. Andy Lapser from Stoke Space had to say. He's the big boss there, and he shared some cool stuff about their rocket, Nova. So Nova has this special design, and Dr. Lapser says the second part of the rocket is super important. Why? Because they want to use it again and again, like a spaceship that doesn't get thrown away after one trip. It's like having a toy that you can play with over and over. Now they did some clever things with Nova. The heat shield, which protects the rocket, uses the same fuel they carry to space. That way, it's not heavy, and heavy things are not so good in space. They have 30 engines around the rocket to balance the weight. It's like having lots of little helpers. And get this, instead of throwing away parts, they have doors, like doors on a house. These doors open to send stuff out into space, and then they close to come back home safely. It's like having a delivery guy who goes out and comes back with packages. Why are they doing all this? Well, they want their rocket to be the best at carrying medium-sized stuff into space. Dr. Lapser explained that not many companies are doing this, so Stoke wants to be the go-to for this kind of job. Their idea is to make space travel easy and cheap. They even got $100 million because their tests in October showed they're doing a great job. Stoke's rocket is turning heads, and we might see a full test launch later this year. Now let's move on to what NASA's been up to with their money. NASA's Innovative Advanced Concepts Program funding. They have this cool program where they give money to interesting projects, and in 2024, they're funding some real out-of-this-world ideas. 2 of them are all about using planes with solar power to check out other planets. First on the list is MAGGIE, which stands for Mars Aerial and Ground Global Intelligent Explorer. So what's the deal with MAGGIE? Well, she's designed to explore Mars using some nifty tricks. First off, she can take off and land in a special way. And guess what? She's all about being green because she runs on solar power. Solar panels on her wings and body help her stay charged up. Now, MAGGIE's job is to fly around Mars for about 7 days, covering a lot of ground. She'll be cruising at an altitude of 1,000 meters, kind of like a plane at a high altitude, and can go as far as 179 kilometers. That's like traveling from one city to another, but on Mars. After her week of exploring, Maggie will need a break to recharge. She does this by landing and soaking up the sun with her solar panels. It's like taking a pit stop to refuel before heading out again. And with this plan, Flugjet hopes Maggie can explore the whole Martian surface. Now, NASA is excited about this idea, and they're giving Flugjet some money to test it out. Venus Surface Sample Return Mission Concept. But wait, there's more. NASA has another idea, this time for Venus. They're thinking about a mission to bring back samples from the surface of Venus. Here's the scoop. Venus has a thick atmosphere, way thicker than Earth's. So NASA is thinking, hey, why not use a solar-powered plane for this mission? It makes sense because the plane can stay up in the air more easily with that thicker atmosphere. Now, this concept is still in the early stages, and we don't have all the details yet. But the basic idea is to have this plane powered by the sun, go down to Venus, grab some samples, and then fly back to Earth. Remember Ingenuity, NASA's helicopter on Mars? It showed us that flying robots on other planets can work. So using a plane to bring back samples from Venus seems like a smart move. Even though it's a bit like planning a big adventure before packing your bags, NASA is interested in making this concept a reality. So that wraps up our space adventure update. If you enjoyed the ride and want more updates on space adventures, give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video, and until then, take care.